Hello, Kyle.
Hey, how's it going?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Uh, I'm I'm here.
You're here. Well, in the message you left, you said you had something you wanted to talk about, and it sounded really important to you.
Okay. Um, I've been married for 15 years now.
That's good.
I own my own company and I do fairly well. Um, I About a year and a half ago, I hired a secretary, and we spend a lot of time together. She does a lot of my errands and stuff like that.
Sure.
And lately, we've been spending a little bit more time together than usual.
Okay.
It hasn't went anywhere, but I guess part of me wants it to. And I really, I love my wife. She's great, but ever since we had kids, she's focused on them, and I don't see her. I see her, but it's always with the kids around. We don't ever get spending alone time together. And this, my secretary, she kind of, I guess, filled the void in my life.
So, about how long do you think you've been feeling like this?
See, it's been going on probably since my last child was born, and he's 6 months now. So
It's a long time.
yeah,
Have you have you ever felt similar to this before?
no,
So this is a new, tough experience for you.
yeah.
So, why do you think that you feel this way now?
Honestly, I just don't think that she has time for me anymore. She's always focused on spending time with the kids, going to all their events. Since the youngest one's been born, it's always tending to his needs, which is necessary. But there's no time for us anymore. Um, we don't ever spend one-on-one time together anymore. It's just the kid stuff.
So, just to get a better sense of how you're feeling about this, let's do some scaling. I'm going to ask you to rate it from 1 to 10. 1 being, you know, you want to leave your wife tomorrow and run off with the secretary, and 10 being more like, you're ready to get back on the wagon, so to speak, 100%. Where do you feel like you are right now?
I'd say a 5. I don't want to leave my wife.
So you're very ambivalent. You feel
Yeah.
pulled both ways.
Yeah.
So let's say you woke up tomorrow and all these confusing feelings and stuff, all these issues with your secretary and the children, if they were fixed, if they were the way you wanted them to be, what would that look like?
I guess maybe that my wife and I would actually have some time to spend together, just me and her. Um,
So I have a question. Before, you said you were about a 5, maybe running off with your secretary, so to speak, or really getting back to it with your wife. And when I asked you what you really wanted, you said you went straight back to your wife. Do you really feel like you're a 5?
I may be closer to a 6. I may be leaning towards my wife a little bit. We have a long history together. It's not something that I want to sacrifice for a fling.
Certainly not, right? Could you tell me a little bit more about how things have been in the last 6 months, how they've been a little different than they were before?
Well, my son is 6 months old, but I also have a daughter who is 12. So we waited a while in between having our second kid. And we kind of went through the same thing whenever my daughter was born.
Yeah.
But there wasn't another child in the picture at that point, so we still were able to carve out time together.
Yeah.
It may have been something as simple as watching a movie while my daughter slept in her crib, but at least we had some time together. Now, since my youngest son was born, if she's not, tending to his needs, she's at my daughter's dance recital or one of her soccer games, and it seems like that's all she has time for. Plus, recently, or actually just before my son was born, probably about 6 months before he was born, she started a small business and out of her home. So that's tying up a lot of her time too.
So she's a business owner as well.
Yeah, and and she's a hard worker. She's a great mom, but we we don't ever spend any time together.
So it sounds like, when you first came in here, it was very distressing. But it also sounds like you were pretty distressed then as well. And I just think that you did really well before, that you're here now. That shows a lot of endurance. Do you think there were any skills that you had then that you maybe had to learn then that you could use now?
Maybe patience.
Patience. What does that mean for you in this context?
Well, I mean, like just giving my wife, just understanding that there are certain things that she has to do with the kids, and just allowing her that time without getting frustrated.
So let's switch gears a little bit. If we were to ask your wife how she feels about this, what do you think, she would say if I were to ask her on a scale of 1 to 10? How distressing is this experience for you?
I think she's pretty pleased with how things is. She's her entire life wanted to be a mother, and that's the role that she wanted to fill, and she seems to be very fulfilled with that. That's not really a conversation that we've had, but it seems like she's pretty happy with the things they are, and I think that's part of the problem, is that it feels like that I'm the frustrated one, and she's just kind of oblivious to everything. She thinks everything's just wonderful.
So any sort of efforts towards change sounds like they're going to mostly come from you. Would that be fair to say?
Yeah.
So what were some of the things that you did when your other child was first born? What are some of the things that you did that you thought were really helpful?
Well, I know whenever they were first born, my mother came and watched them quite a bit so that we could go do things. So that was something that we did. So that was really helpful.
Do you think she'd be willing to do that again for you?
Yeah.
Yeah? Yeah. So if your mother came, she was watching the children, what is something you think you might do?
I mean, just going out to dinner or something as simple as watching a movie. I mean, just some type of time, just me and her, so that we can connect.
It sounds to me like you know what you need to do. Like you've got the tools you need to succeed here.
Yeah.
So, are there any obstacles, anything slowing you down, stopping you from getting there?
I mean, honestly, the fact that my secretary is even still working for me, and the fact that it's like a constant reminder of something else. So.
But it sounds to me like you know how to get that something else.
Yeah.
So, why don't we do a little bit of homework?
Okay.
So, we've agreed to meet each other every 2 weeks. So in the next 2 weeks, you don't have to change your whole life, but would you agree to at least set up a time with your mother and your wife that you guys could do something and she'd watch the kids?
Yeah, that's definitely something we can do.
Do you think that'd be good?
Yeah.
So then in 2 weeks, you're going to come back and tell me you've got a plan?
I will.
That's what I like to hear. All right, I'll see you in 2 weeks, Kyle.
All right, thank you.